Hi there, I'm Dave and I do the demos around here. So today we've got a demo of OpenAI. We're going to be using ChatGPT4 Vision and we're going to be using this to take an image and put some attributes around it. So maybe we want to augment a product catalog or something like that. We can then later use this information with machine learning to kind of profile users and do all sorts of new things that would have been very onerous to do before. This is because the data just simply wasn't available. So the first example that I've got, we're going to take some product images of clothing and we're going to go into the chat playground of Azure OpenAI. I've already set this up. My plan is to do another video for you to show you how to set this up. But long story short, go into the Azure portal, deploy Azure OpenAI Studio, deploy it in a region that actually has capacity. We've got some constraints going on right now. Sweden seems to be a good one to request all of the models, just because it's very, very popular as a service. So just be aware that if you choose one of the more popular regions, you might not be able to deploy the model that you want there. So for simplicity, I've deployed ChatGPT4 and ChatGPT4 Vision. I don't recommend that you necessarily use those. Newer is not better, bigger is not better, and there is definitely a cost associated with it. I'm not paying for this. This is my demo account, so I tend to use the bigger one just because it's easier to try things out without the constraints around it. Once you've got the OpenAI Studio, hit deployments, deploy a model, and then you'll be able to start using it in chat playground. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add a system message, and I've already kind of got this one typed out, so put that up on the screen right now. And I'm telling the bot in English what I want it to achieve. This isn't a particularly well thought out system prompt, just so you know. This is a very quick and dirty way to get an output that I wanted. I also haven't spent much time defending against bad behavior in this. The reason for that is when I'm using this to augment the product database, I'm going to be using a logic app. I will show that as a demo later, and the logic app will automatically pick up the images, process them, put this stuff into a database. The output here is going to be JSON format, so I can just take that, put it straight into Cosmos, or I could put it into SQL, or I could put it on a data lake. For the use case that I have in mind here, it's probably going to be either SQL or Cosmos. I haven't decided yet. But it's going to augment with this, and because of that, it's an automated process that I'm completely in control of. There's no real scope for it to have a negative impact in the press. There's no users going to be using this. Nobody's going to be attacking this. So I haven't put some of the controls in that I normally would. We may talk about those in another video. Hit me up in the comments if you are interested in those sorts of subjects. So here we're submitting items of clothing, and we're telling the bot, you are filling in a product database for clothing items at a fashion retailer. Really basic language. You will rate the item out of 10 in the following categories. So what we're doing is scoring the appropriateness of the garment, scoring the category, and I actually used ChatGPT4 to come up with the categories as well. I came up with a couple, and then I said to it, do you know what, give me some attributes of clothing that might be useful for scoring, and it came up with a bunch that I hadn't thought of. So some of these are like whimsical. I would never describe clothing as whimsical, but I think it is a good category, and we can then use that later in the machine learning to great effect. So then I've gone on to say, format the responses in JSON with category, score, and comment as attributes. So it's pretty clear what I want out of this this solution. So here I've pasted that into the system message box. I hit apply updates, hit continue to update the system message, and then I've pre-downloaded some clothing pictures that I can use. So I will copy this flowery dress, then go back into the chat window and I'll paste it. And I don't have to put anything else in the chat because all I'm doing here is scoring it. And what you'll see is a lot of examples out there of GPT Vision being used for kind of describing a picture. Tell me the things that are in this picture. We've had vision models for years that do that, not necessarily as effectively as GPT does, but it's a fairly basic use case that we could always do before anyway. What this is adding is the subjectiveness of, I think that this this picture looks like it is this thing. So here we've got a flowery dress that to me looks pretty neat. It's not particularly outrageous. It's not particularly formal. It's just sort of somewhere in the middle. So let's look what the model is scoring here. So we've got category fun, score is 7. The floral print adds a playful touch. Sexy, score 5. The fit and flare cut can be flattering, but it's not overtly sexy. I'd probably agree with that. It's not designed to be a sexy dress, it's designed to be just a dress. Then we've gone to casual and blah blah blah. And if we come down here, we get to elegant. No, that's not a particularly elegant dress. But a score of 6 says that it's not an unelegant dress. So then if we come back in here and we'll take a picture of the long black dress, and you'll notice in there I've got pictures of a wide variety cross-section of things. I was testing out the model to try to make sure that it was scoring the way that a normal person probably would, and the results have been absolutely astounding. It not only gives a reasonable score that I would sort of agree with, it also explains its thinking as it's doing so. And we can keep those descriptions because it's coming out in the JSON. So here we've got what is designed to be a relatively elegant sort of formal dress. It's not overly formal. There's still a bit of fun to it, but it's not a sort of wearing day-to-day type of a thing. So here we've got category formal, score is 9. It's very, very suitable for formal wear, and it's perfect for formal events with its elegant drape. I'd have never described a dress as having elegant drape. I'm not a fashion person, but this just shows how adding a very, very straightforward tool can actually give you an awful lot of additional value in your applications and in your data. So then I'm going to go on to example 2, and here exactly the same thing. You're filling in a product database for clothing, but this time you're going to rate items for suitability for the following occasions, and we've got weddings and black tie events and date nights and casual outings, and again with the JSON. So we're going to go and put that into the system message and apply changes, and this really is this easy. And when you are using this, there's just an API. The boxes here are just attributes that you push as a parameter to the API. The user chat bit where I'm typing or pasting in images, again, this is just passed as a parameter into the API, and so fairly straightforward. And when you're using images like this, you would encode them into a sort of text string format. I've got that in the Logic App example, which I'll show you at a later time. And so you just throw this data in and get the data back. If you want to have a chat back and forth, then you have to put loops and things in, which is slightly more complicated, but there are frameworks for all of this stuff. So this time we've got a very sparkly, spangly pink dress. Is it suitable for a casual outing? It's too dressy. Is it suitable for a formal event? Yes, it's suitable for some formal events, especially for children. So a children's birthday or something like that. Business casual, that's a no from GPT. Don't wear a bright pink sparkly dress to your business events. Certainly not business formal. Cocktail parties, maybe, it's a 5. Not so much a black tie event or a date night, but if you're going to a theme party, great. Religious services, not so much, but a wedding, yep, you could be a flower girl or similar role in a wedding, and I think it's nice that it adds that context of kind of what it thinks. So that was a fairly whistle-stop tour of this functionality. Hopefully that's been useful to you. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Would you like to see more ChatGPT and OpenAI type content here? There's a real push on this stuff at the moment. It's a very new technology and it's exciting, some of the new ideas that we can bring in. So I can kind of showcase a few of those for you guys, and hopefully you can get some great value out of that. With that, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.